We are Biene,
Kathi,
and Sophie.
And we're sitting here on my really beautiful balcony in Goa. And today we're going to introduce Kathi. She's my dear friend and my co-teacher in the school in Goa where I'm teaching. And she's an Ayurvedic professional. She started to study Ayurveda in 2012. And actually she did her 200 hours teacher training in September 2017 in the same school where I did all of my teacher trainings. And on top she has another really nice teacher training in summer 2018 in Europe.
Yeah.
And as I said, she's Ayurveda professional and also a really great yoga teacher and soul. And she's talking today about her life as a yogi nomad.
Yeah, because she loves traveling as well, and is traveling already for a while. And we're really curious about how did you start, and what was like maybe also your struggles on your way, and what are your favorite spots in the world to live or to work.
Okay. All right. Okay. So I was coming to India 2007 for the first time. I actually never intended to come to India.
Same here.
Yeah, it happens. And then you get stuck here. And this is where I discovered Ayurveda, right? So Ayurveda is the ancient healing system of India, and I was right away in love with it, and everything made so much sense because I was already before very much interested in the food and being healthy and detoxing and fasting, and didn't feel so great with all my food experiments. But then when I discovered Ayurveda, everything made so much sense. And then I decided right there that I want to come back to India because this is where it comes from, and continue my journey on the Ayurvedic path. At this moment already I was practicing yoga, and I think actually, I think I could say that this year I was a year in India, that's where I really started my deeper yoga journey rather than, just going to drop-in class here and there. So my deeper passion for yoga started also with this trip to India. And I'm sure you both can relate to this effect India has on you.
Happened also to me.
Yeah.
Me too. I'm at least every year here so far.
Yeah. It is challenging. I think we all can agree on that, especially the first few times maybe. But then you kind of grow on it. Yeah. And then I finished my studies. So I did a university degree back in Austria. That's where I come from. And then I started my trip. I was planning to travel for 1 year after my studies. It was 2010. And now we're 2019, and I'm still on a trip.
This is how it goes.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I did my Ayurveda studies in 2012, and the majority of my time I actually spent in Nepal and India. Yeah, I do want to travel to so many more places, right? But it's really hard to leave India because the more time you spend here, there's so many people who come every year, there's so many regulars, and what happens here a lot is exchange, right? So in the place where I spent most of my time in Dharamshala, north of India, it attracts lots of interesting healers and amazing yoga teachers, amazing massage therapists, yoga workers, energy work, you name it, everything from belly tents to jewelry making. And majority of us is not very money oriented. And also that's the advantage of India, that life is pretty affordable compared to the West. So in Europe I would never be able to live the way I live here. So we do a lot of exchange there. Yeah? So I really enjoy this. It's a different quality of energy exchange. But when you ask me about my struggles, so obviously the finances are a bit of a challenge, right? So I'm pretty lucky because for some reason I know money is not an issue for this lifetime. I've never been very rich, but I always have money. So this is just a blessing I have since I can remember, since my teenage time, that I was always very good in saving money, never spending all my money, and this just stuck with me. Because believe it or not, I'm 36 years old and I never had a real job. Or what is a real job, like a mainstream society career, and which I'm sure for my parents was a big struggle, and I'm sure they spent a lot of nights worrying about their daughter living so far away. But in India you just have a lot of freedom and you need very little money to really study amazing things. So besides Ayurveda, which I studied, like Dina said, 2012 in India, in Dharamshala, I also did my yoga teacher training here in India. And besides that, over the years, so it's now, the 9th year, I more or less permanently live in India and in Nepal. I did lots of amazing meditation retreats. I spent so many hours with amazing yoga teachers for like, gosh, maybe 2-3 euros per class, right? And you really have completely experts in what they do. So I think this traveling lifestyle just gave me so much freedom, in particular countries like India and Nepal, because the cost of living is very low, right? So you just have a lot of freedom to really spend time to connect to your desires, see where you want to go and what you want to do. And just by living here, you meet so many inspiring and wonderful people, like Bina. And I just met Supi, but I'm sure she has so many amazing things to share also. But yeah, so that keeps you inspired, yeah, because when you go back home, people ask you, what are you doing all the time? Yeah,
Yeah.
It's like, not getting boring, no.
No, never. It's never getting boring.
No.
Yeah.
What do you think is what is so special about being a yoga teacher, a healer in some way, and being in the place where yoga and Ayurveda is born?
That's a really good question. I think no matter what you choose in life, and for me it is healing, and for me yoga is also healing, like on the mat. My God, you can teach about the deepest psychological issues you yourself are dealing with or your students are dealing with. But it could be something else. It could be art, or it could be carpeting. I don't know. Like, I think it's just about connecting to these passions we all have. Exactly. Yeah, and this is easier when you travel because you have the freedom. You're not in the box. You're not in the hamster wheel because you have to make 1,000 euros just for your rent and another 500 for groceries, right? Yeah. So for me, this is really my passion. And the place where Bina and I work together now, like Bina knows it, I work quite a lot. The days are very long, but it never feels exhausting in the sense like I would do in a job I wouldn't connect with, right? Because I help the people, I help them in their journeys, I help them in the healing, and this is actually also one of the challenges for me, besides the finding the right value for my work, like finding the right charges for what I do. This is very struggling for me. This is difficult.
To find the fees, what are you able to charge, and is it too less or too much? I think like most of the yoga teachers, they sell themselves like under the price very
well.
Very
much.
I think they could really charge more.
I think it's on one point it's difficult because yoga is actually a gift. Sharing yoga is a gift. And back when yoga has started, it was never for money. So people traveled through the countries and they didn't earn money. They just had an exchange, as you said, food, accommodation for sharing the knowledge. But nowadays, because it shifted a little bit, and it's not only food and accommodation. What I can say, how I met her was in the school where we are both teaching right now, and she is the soul of this place. Without her, the energy is just not there, and it's like we improve so much while living there. We have to adjust and to adapt to the situations there, and as she said, you meet so many nice people while traveling. So first it's Ayurveda, then it's yoga, now she's doing kinesiology. There's always more interesting things coming up, and you meet so many people. Is there more you want to learn about? Is there more you want to study?
Definitely. So I do want to study more of kinesiology. This is something I started last year. A friend of mine, actually it's so funny, because we are here now, we are very south of Goa. I mean, Goa is tiny compared to other states in India, but we're the very, very south. And my Reiki, not Reiki, my Reiki I also do. By the way, that happens in India. You just pick it up like.
You do like a lot of things and combine it and offer your service.
Exactly. You're just getting more tools in your toolbox. So my kinesiology teacher is in the very, very north of India, in Arambol, and funnily she comes from the next small district from where I grew up in Austria. So we are like really, really neighboring. And anyways, it's a long story. I don't want to bore you, but so kinesiology is something I got into for offering it to people last year, because it helped me a lot on my own personal healing journey, which I think for me personally is also one of the hugest advantage of this lifestyle, that every day consciously you work on yourself, right? So you're not, I don't want to judge anyone, but most of the people on that path, we're not here in Goa to party and drink. We're here really to work on ourselves, to meet healers. Like at the moment, I have amazing people in just the next beach. They're doing eye reading and Tibetan pulsing, and you meet, like, universe just guides you. I think this is the most important thing, which I never ever want to change in my life anymore. Rather than having a pre-plan for like what to do when. Just connecting to your intuition and waiting for the signs, which are always there, right? To know where to go when, and what is your calling. Do you want to go to this healer, or you want to just stay on your own on the beach? You want to go to Sri Lanka, or you want to go to Nepal? Yeah, so there's like, you're just more in the flow, and the important thing is the trust in yourself and in universe that you're always guided.
No,
Do you have a plan for the further weeks, months where you go next?
Well, at the moment, I'm still in this place where we work together. Like every year, he wants me there for the full season, because I really do a lot of things there.
Everything.
And I'm hard to be replaced.
She can't be replaced.
But every year I cannot commit, because I never want to give up this freedom of living in the moment and just doing what I feel in this moment. So how can I decide in April 2019 that I want to work from October to April 2018? So I don't make long plans anymore.
Last season when we left, actually said, okay, we might see each other in summer in Europe, but we won't come back. We haven't met each other in Europe.
We haven't.
We didn't manage, because both here, there, doing whatever we do. But out of a sudden, we just met again at the place, and we are back here, and this is how the life goes sometimes. The plan is to don't have a plan.
Exactly. I totally agree. The plan is no plan. Just going with the flow. Yes.
And so what are your favorite spots beside? Do you have some other spots beside India and Nepal where you regularly go, or do you have a place where you regularly
Not regularly, because I'm not, I think you both are more of this airy nature. Like according to Ayurveda, you know, we're all different body types, but also different mind types. And most of the people you find living this lifestyle, they have lots of vata, lots of air. They like change.
Yes,
they like change, they like movement. And I don't have so much matter. It's there, otherwise I wouldn't be doing what I do. But I like routine.
So you're more grounded.
Yes,
and
I come to Dharamsala, and now I come to work to Goa. I don't even travel within India anymore.
Look, you can be even a nomad without traveling that much.
You can, but that comes to one of the previous questions. So now, the last 2 years, I'm just transitioning a little bit into making money, which was a big issue for me, because I just thought, I don't want money, I don't need money, I just want to do exchange, I don't want to make money. But I never made enough to pay for my flights. But I always have money, because I'm just good with money, but I wasn't making big bucks, right? And I don't want to make big bucks. But it's okay to charge according to what you offer, according to the energy and time you spend. So this is something I want to change this year, and then hopefully by next year I can travel a little bit more, because I do want to discover South America. There's a few countries in Asia I want to spend some time. But the thing is also, because you know, the more you spend time on one place, you have your friends, you have your regular customers also, right? I have regular clients who come for healings, who come for consultation. So you feel you want to show up for them, and it's nice also. It's like a known feeling, a family feeling. I think you can relate very much, because you also come to Goa for even longer than I do, right?
Yes. So there are different ways of being a nomad. You can be as Rupi, never being more than 3 months at a place, because then the inner calling is already there. Or seasonal, so as we do, and then sometimes yes, this is the letting go part, but there's so much more to see. But
Totally.
there's no plan.
There's so many opportunities there are offered. So often it's just
Yes.
like arrive. If you don't have to be scared if you don't have a job right
Yes.
now. It's not. You can just go and explore this area, especially when you work and don't want to work online and more offline in
Yes.
in yoga studios or in person. I think then it's just like being there, being present, and then connect with the area, and the
Yes,
people,
and
the
being
customers.
open.
Trust, being open and trust.
Open.
Because
Yes.
sometimes you just knew at a place, and I mean, we came here without having any
Yes.
connections, without knowing anybody.
No.
And I think that's the difference if you work online or offline.
Yes.
So we works more offline. We online. We're working both mostly
Completely
in person, offline.
Mm.
And then it's sometimes scary if you reach at a place.
But the thing is, if you do what you love, and that could be yoga, that could be healing, that could be anything else, if it's your passion, and you go somewhere, the people will pick this vibe up, right? And just have trust in yourself and what you can offer, and then it will come. Just have trust, it will come. It's not, I mean, I don't think it's like sit at home and then some magical fairy shows up in front of your door. No, just go out there, pop into some yoga studios, just go and take some classes, and then say that you can do a drop-in class just for a tester. And
Yes.
then
Yeah,
off
exactly.
it goes.
Yeah, it's good to offer your service, even if it's just like in the beginning as a kind of test and for free. But then, the more you give in the beginning, it will come back. It will come
Completely,
back. Yeah.
yes.
It's just a trusting and using
Yeah.
the connection. As longer you start to travel, and then you, as you said, you meet so many inspiring
Yes.
people, and you have deep connections. It's a little
Yes.
bit different because you're on the same, you have the same vibe, and you're on the same journey.
And when they've been to your class and they loved it, they will invite you wherever they are. Like
Yeah.
this last summer, a lot of people I met there in the place where we work together, they invited me in Europe, and I was holding workshop there. And then again, you know, Europe is also a different income rate. Obviously, in India, you don't make as much as in Europe. Your expenses are also lower, but you make connections, and then you create a retreat with them wherever they live, or you have it, like I do cooking classes also, or Ayurveda retreat. Like there's no end, right? You just have to trust in yourself and be open, and also trust your intuition, because some people will offer you jobs and there's something fishy, something doesn't feel right. So always trust your intuition, let your intuition guide you. Very important.
Very good. Yeah, and what comes next? Do you know? Have already a certain plan?
Well,
I mean, you don't have many
Yeah.
plans, but maybe just after India.
I always go home in the summer, right? Wherever I am.
Home is
Austria.
Austria.
I still feel feel at home, and that's also an interesting thing. By living so much abroad, I really connected even more to my roots, to where I come from. I grew up in the beautiful Austrian countryside, and eventually I do want to settle back there for sure. This is sure. And the question is just when.
Yeah.
So every year I
Take
say,
a few
okay,
years.
next summer I'll come back. Okay, well, one more year India, one more year India. But eventually I do want to settle back there.
But it's interesting because I have the same feeling that the more I'm traveling, the more I feel connected with my home base. I mean, I don't feel that I want to move now, but I could imagine in like at some point, but maybe also like in 50 years. Yeah,
Yes.
but when you're really old, I don't know when, but I feel at certain time I will come back.
Yeah.
But don't feel it now. But I also feels like that the more you travel, the more I feel like just to go back home, at least for a certain period
some
of
time,
time.
yeah.
And just to connect with your family. And
Exactly.
it's so important. I feel like it's really rooting me because,
Yes.
especially because I'm staying just like 3 months in a place. And so it's like I'm just flying around. Like at home gives me
a little bit of it.
the roots.
And you appreciate it just so much more, right?
Yeah.
And for me, when I started to travel, I was more disconnected
Yeah,
from
me
Austria. I was
too.
like,
I would-
oh,
yeah.
okay, no. And
Me
now
too.
I come home, and it is home,
Yeah.
right? I feel home here too. I feel home in Dharamshala.
Yeah.
I feel home in Nepal. But home is the roots, and I think this is. I met lots of travelers, and there's still things they haven't worked with, right? So a lot of the years, so now it's 9 years, the majority of the the first period of years, I didn't work, I didn't do nothing. I just really sat. I went to meditation retreats and worked on my issues with my roots, with my parents, with my countries. And if you don't come to peace to that, you could run away your whole life, and you know,
You can't
just
run
keeping
away
yourself
from yourself.
busy.
Not possible.
No.
It will get you.
Yeah.
And I think the good thing is it doesn't matter if you're in India or somewhere in South America, if you start to travel and you have the vibe, that you attract your tribe anyway. There are always healers and inspiring people. And it's just, if you go out of your comfort zone, and I think this is really what Kathrin did, just going somewhere without having a plan, without knowing anybody, going out of the comfort zone, and the universe will serve something.
Totally.
And I think also I can connect to being back home because there's your family, they're really friends, really long friends, and they're not traveling maybe, so it's always good. But you meet friends while traveling, and they're really
make
close
even,
dear friends.
new friends and new
Yes.
connections, like all on the way, always on your process, like while you develop and grow, like personally, you will find the right friends. I mean, like also long friends and your long-lasting friends will stay, but it's beautiful to connect to the world tribe all over the world.
Totally. And then you always have people to visit in different parts of the world.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's another challenge, but we will tell you that in another
In the
story.
next story.
Oh, there's another story. Excited. Excited.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much
you
for
so
being
much.
here. Yeah.